Guys, Celtics postgame show, West Coast edition. Jimmy Toscano is here. We will have
Yo.
some other stragglers, we think. Might be
Oh,
past their bedtime.
Jazz just hit another three. It just hit another three walking off the court.
This could be the shortest
Unbelievable.
postgame show in history. Ready? Jazz hit a lot of threes. Okay, wrap it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's preview the
make
next
mixed
game.
league, right? As they say, make mixed league. Okay, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow night.
It was insane.
I've never seen
Insane.
anything like it in my life.
It was like mad. I was getting mad. There's nothing enough. Stop.
It reminded me of this is going way back, like NBA Live 2004. You could play like Predrag Stojakovic, a little cheat code, or like Donyell Marshall randomly, and you could just hit every 3-pointer you take, and you could just
This was
a cheat. It's a cheat code. It's a cheat
Bo
code.
Jackson Tecmo Bowl, cheat code. If you want to take it all the way back, this is Ronick.
It was actually amazing that the Celtics.
Ronick Sega 94.
Yeah,
cheat code.
It was actually kind of amazing the Celtics were in this game when you saw the way that they were shooting it. The Jazz. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So. I can't sit here and criticize the Celtics for this loss. I mean, obviously, there's things that I'm sure we will, and we'll pick out the certain aspects of it. But from a certain win-loss standpoint, I mean, the 29 other teams would have lost this game tonight to the way that the Jazz were shooting the ball. The one thing I will say, other than the shots, was it didn't seem like the Celtics really had much of an answer for Gobert down.
He wasn't doing much most of the game.
Wasn't doing much, but towards the end, yeah.
That two-man game killed him at the end, especially if Schroeder. Schroeder was terrible on defense, and he couldn't stay with Mitchell at all when he was on him and Conley.
They had the lob going.
He was getting cooked there on that, and that hurt them late. It's hard to not like this game because there were so many positives. Like you can point to Schroeder's late game defense and some decision making. You can point to Tatum not being great.
Schroeder had 26 and shot 10 for 21 from the field.
I know,
and I know that's just looking at the stats. He did make some boneheaded plays out there, but again, that's the Dennis Schroeder experience. We talk about it all the time. Yeah. You can't just sit there and pick out the bad plays and ignore the fact that he gave you 26 and shot essentially 50% from the field and did his thing. It's a very Dennis Schroeder game, to be completely honest. So if anyone out there is pissed at Dennis Schroeder, then I guess you haven't really been watching him play. I mean, this is kind of what he does.
It's you take the good, you take the bad, my friends.
So I mean, that being said, listen, Tatum again tonight, off from three, and that 3-pointer late in the game, you just really wanted that one to go down.
Yeah.
But did a lot of the other things that he's been doing when the shot isn't falling, and he ended up with 37 points tonight. So I mean, honestly, he did plenty on his end. Went to the line, had some nice passes there in the fourth too.
Got to the hole, was making great little Euro
some really nice
spins,
moves,
getting to the basket. So that was good. I
want to see that outside shot fall, though. I really do.
Bobby, I'll ask you this: was it right to leave Rob on the bench there at the end,
Bobby,
and have
Bobby's
Al?
Gone.
Bobby, he was here and he's gone. Oh,
Bobby
God.
no longer is with us. Yeah. I can't get my stupid.
Rob was. We're back to 2 years ago where they're afraid to play Rob in certain situations.
That was sad.
Rob, as you noticed, did not start the third quarter. We went with Grant, and I don't think that's a terrible thing. They wanted more shooting, and that was okay. But then it was Al at the end and not Rob, and I don't know.
Because they were going for shooting again. But, that's when, like you said, the two-man game kind of reared its ugly head against them. They needed a body up there against Gobert. They didn't want to go with Rob, which is just kind of sad because, it's at this point in his career where he should be in the game if he's that guy.
Also, you know what Rob does? He defends threes, as Tomas put it here, 100%. He gets out on those.
He blocks them. He just blocked the game-winning block on a three 2 days ago.
What would you take? Would you rather take that ugly-ass win against Philly or this really exciting, fun game?
Well, I mean, as far as the viewer's concerned, this was a fun game, but obviously the Celtics lost tonight, so anybody with a brain cell would pick the Philly game, but that game's kind of stunk to watch. This was a fun game to watch, and, it was the offense. This was the honestly complete opposite of the last game. The NBA is so funny. You really don't know what the hell you're going to get on a game-by-game basis. It's so hard to bet in the not that we do bet, but if we were to, it would be hard to. We don't, but if we were to, it would
No,
be hard
God.
to.
And if we do, we do it responsibly.
Yeah, obviously. But that being said, this was a fun game. And I don't get to see a lot of Jazz games, but they are a fun team to watch. I love Mitchell. I love his attitude. I love the way he plays. I know him and Jaylen Brown got pretty close in the bubble. They seem to be buddy. There's always those Celtics fans who think that somehow, Donovan Mitchell's going to end up in a Celtics uniform. I'm sure every NBA team has fans who think that way, but he's just fun to watch. And Conley's tried and true veteran, made the All-Star team last year, first time in like 17-year career. And what was the guy, 7 for 7 tonight from 3?
7 for 7.
And then you get Ingles, who is like your glorified YMCA player, a guy that you're like, yeah, I'll cover him. Show up. It'd be like if I showed up to the gym and I saw you playing on the other side. I'd be like, yeah, I'll cover John.
I got Zannis.
Yeah, I'll take Zannis tonight. That's like Ingles, but he's just that guy, man.
I can't shoot. I can't shoot. I'm a slasher. I was.
Totally. Yeah, you look like a slasher.
I can't do anything now.
Used to be.
I used to. Yeah, you could leave me alone at the 3-point line. You didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, and I honestly, it looked like you look at the numbers tonight. They shot over 50% from 3. The Celtics didn't really leave them at the 3-point line. They were just hitting big shots. I mean, yeah, there were a few that they gave them a little too much space, especially when you knew that they were hot. But Utah was just on tonight, 27 from 51. A little bit of Celtics history tonight, folks. Did we lose Bobby and Josue for good? Are we going to do this?
Josue was never on, and Bobby jumped in, and I think jumped into the
Josue was never on. I missed that.
Into the Ime Zoom. So
Friday night Josue.
I don't know, he says he's coming. He's threatening.
He is coming. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, this might be a 1-game suspension for Bobby and Josue.
That's fine. I'll suspend myself for tomorrow because I don't want to stay up that late. But I have no choice.
I won't. I'm already suspended.
I have no choice because you guys already bailed.
I already suspended myself for that game. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not getting like Scal Ingles.
Ingles would break Scal. No offense, Scal, but I don't think it's close. I love Ingles too. I just like the Jazz, I guess. I don't get to see him a whole lot. I know you hate Gobert.
I hate Gobert.
You can't deny that he's very good at what he is good at.
I think Gobert is the guy who breaks the whole stat mold, which is to say that the stats will look at his stats last year for his impact and his rating when he was on the court had him in elite levels to the point that he was an MVP candidate in a lot of like stat people's eyes. Give me a freaking break.
Oh yeah, I think that's a little over the top.
That's give me a break with Gobert. I think it's like it's somewhere in between what your eyes see and what the analytics tell you and who he is. But give me a break, like top 5 NBA player. Get out of here.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
But that's what I bark against. There was a strong like analytics push for Gobert as being one of the top players. I think he's vast. His impact is vastly overrated. But that's fine. There's a ton of things he does well. I thought they did a really good job with him tonight. And kind of neutralizing what he does best. He was
18 and 12. Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, 12 rebounds is.
What I'm saying is he only had 3 field goal attempts. It's not like he's a big time scorer, but up until like that late run, I mean, he ended up with 5 field goal attempts.
Yeah, 5 for 5.
He got to the free throw line. Yeah. Blocked a couple shots. One of them, Schroeder just served up on a platter late.
That was another plus 17 too.
That was another one of Schroeder's bad decisions there.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mitchell 34, Conley 20. I mean, their guards did their thing tonight. So yeah, you want to criticize Schroeder? I'll obviously allow it. The Utah's guards dominated Boston's guards tonight. It really wasn't close.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. And, this was the Jaylen factor here. Again, we haven't really seen Jaylen Brown be right all year, so who knows what he would have done if he played with his half-ass hammy sort of situation.
We did call it on the last show. Unfortunately, we were right. We said
obvious.
He probably wasn't going to be playing in this game. And that was just based on what I saw about him walking off the court. I don't know if he's going to play tomorrow either, did they say? I bet you he doesn't.
Very unlikely.
He's not good to play tonight. Why would he be good to play tomorrow?
I think best case scenario you see him in LA. Mm-hmm. But these 2 games I think are the back-to-backs doesn't seem
No,
likely.
that would be foolish. That would just be like making the same mistakes over and over.
Yeah, his hamstring needs some rest, so we're gonna trot him
Yeah.
back out there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing they were explaining. Oh, you got to kind of use it. You feel a little pain like right when you come back, but it's like, no, I'm not sure that's how hamstrings work. But
No. Speaking of guys we'll never see again.
Bobby, Josue,
Well, Bobby and Josue, who knows? But Romeo was looking active and lively there in his little stint, and then he leaves. At
as
halftime.
he's known to do.
I tweeted jokingly when he rolled his ankle. I was like, "Up, shoot, see you in February," and everyone got on me.
Oh, did they?
And a couple people on my timeline were like, "Joe, here comes John with his negative quota," and like, come on, man, give it a rest. And I was like, and then Romeo stayed in, and everyone, people are like, "Oh, he's still out there," you
Yeah, you suck.
overreacted.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll eat that one." And then what do you know? He's out.
Yep.
We won't see him again.
Be better off if they just amputated it and so he wouldn't sprain it. That's something like he would say.
Just cut it off. If he tore it completely,
Yeah.
If it just
break in two.
If the foot just came off,
if it was a clean break,
it would be a
quicker recovery. Because these sprained ankles, they just linger. You just want a clean break and start the recovery process immediately.
It's the Romeo.
Hey, he can't catch a break though. No pun intended. It seems like he just, and I hate to say it, some guys this is just what happens to them. They just get hurt.
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward, once he hit the Celtics, that one comes to mind. Jaylen Brown recently, to be completely honest, that one's another player that seems to be on the injury report.
Bobby Manning is threatening to join the show, I guess. Yeah.
Hey, welcome, Bobby. Were you late to class a lot?
Good evening.
Ooh. Did you just show up to class whenever you felt like it? You're not muted.
You're not muted. He's going to just keep talking, though, isn't he?
What's going on? How are you guys?
Really good. Nice of you to join us.
We're about to wrap up the show. Any final thoughts, John?
Final thoughts, Bobby. One last shout out to our sponsors, Bobby. Why don't you play us out?
Yeah. What do you got, Bob?
Well, Ime, another call out of the team in the press conference there. Mild one saying that the team didn't show up to guard in that first quarter. Josh Richardson among others there. So he wasn't happy with the effort as much as I'm sure other people are going to find a lot of silver linings out of this one. Frustrated to give up that many threes, I'd imagine, even though I think we can all just look at what Utah did there and just say this is ridiculous. I didn't look up the percentage, but I'd have to imagine that's the best percentage on volume that a team's ever shot against the Celtics. Certainly the most threes a team's ever shot against the Celtics there. So, there's something you got to clean up. I didn't like Al Horford getting put on the perimeter as much as he did late in the game, kind of burnt out in that
we were
spot.
asking whether it should have been Rob in there late instead of Al.
It's a tough call, right? Because Horford's done it so well all year. Rob's, that's not the best part of his game. Maybe
they were both out there at the end of the last game.
Yeah, but it's a different.
Rob got put on ice this game.
They wanted to spread out Gobert too, and they did that. Tatum missed that step back on him in the fourth there, and missed another step back. I thought he should have been more aggressive, probably blowing by him. But it's tough. People talk about Gobert and just how big of a stiff he's been in the playoffs, but you do forget just how much he changes the game when he's out there. It is so hard to navigate around him. Celtics did a pretty good job.
They scored 130 points on a Gobert defense without hitting a lot of threes.
The offense was impressive.
Without hitting a lot of threes. They did it by taking it to them. And I know they took advantage of this times when he was off the court too by being a little bit more aggressive, but they spread them out. And
the offense wasn't the issue.
They weren't hitting their shots. So Mr. Freaking greatest defensive player in the history of analytics just got a 130 dropped on his head from a mediocre offensive team. I don't want to hear it.
Hey,
I really don't.
Yeah.
It's fine. He's fine. But
there's a big weakness in his game when he gets pulled out to the perimeter.
Yes, I know. And they did. They spread him out. They had him on it's fine. It's just.
And again, he's fine. He plays basketball. He's a basketball player.
He does his thing.
I like him more than most, but if that aside, it's a frustrating loss only because this is the story of the team this year, right? And I said this against Philadelphia too, a game they could have easily lost. they're going to be right there with all the good teams just because of how they can bog the game down defensively. And they didn't do that in this one. It was more the offense that held them in it. But a game like Philly, you just grind that one down to a halt, low possession game. You make the shots that you can as you go along. You shoot some mid-range. You do whatever you got to do to find points where you can find them. But you just fall short because of the shooting differential here. And like you had to be thinking this the whole time, right? That there's no way you can keep up with this 3-point shooting that Utah
But
has.
you thought
they
they'd come down. The fact that, like, I mean, the Utah was turning it
They
over.
went 47 minutes. I mean, they came so close.
Oh my God! I mean, how in the world?
I mean, the Celtics did everything else right. I mean, they barely turned the ball over tonight.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna run out of power. I'll be right back.
Oh boy. So what I was saying, Bobby, is they, aside from hit as many threes as Utah did, which would have been impossible, I thought they did a lot of the other things. The low turnovers tonight was nice. 6 turnovers for the Celtics compared to 19 from the Jazz, which is what gave them those additional possessions that they needed. They actually hit more field goals than Utah, but they just
Isn't
didn't
that
hit as many
unreal? They
threes.
took 10 more shots.
Yeah.
They hit more shots, period.
Yep.
And they lose by what, 7?
They ended up losing by 7.
That is just the power of the 3. And John says the mid-range is back, not for the Jazz. They didn't take a single mid-ranger in this one, and they don't. Like, they have a no mid-ranger rule. I want to ask Quinn about that after the game, but I didn't get through. Then Ime's more willing to lean on that shot, and like the math is the math. I mean, if that's your team and those are where you can find the shots, good. I think the Celtics are right to do it. I asked Ime about it pregame, just why he's so willing to let the team shoot the mid-rangers at the rate that they do. But you just look at a game like this. This was decided by the shot selection, wasn't it? I mean, obviously the Jazz hit a ridiculous amount of threes. They hit a few less of those, they probably lose. But they put themselves in position to hit those threes. I mean, the ball movement there, I know everybody talks about it, but it's ridiculous. That shot that Conley hit, that ISIS one effectively, I guess the Mitchell one did, but the Conley one before that, Mitchell swallowed up in the paint. Richardson's coming help side as he's leaning away, and he still gets it out. I think it was to Bogdanovich or Ingles who gets it over to Conley, and they just get another wide open 3, and they keep hitting them. It's unreal. You were expecting it to, like, rein in at some point there, but it didn't. They were for over 50% from 3 the whole game. That team is something else, in the regular season at least. And I know they haven't shot as well this year, but they let it fly against the Celtics here and made up for it in a pretty big way.
Yep. All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Any final thoughts, guys, before we sign off?
Greatest shooting performance of all time, ever, by a team.
Thank
you, Josue. We'll see you guys.
Thanks, Josue.
We'll see you guys
We'll
later.
see you later.
Yeah.
All right. See you, pal. That's
That was
Josue
good
Pavon
info.
joining
And that
the
was
show.
talking basketball with Josue.
That was basketball with Josue. There he is.
Unreal.
He's back. He's back.
He's shiny and new.
He's back.
The hair looks just as good in the homestead as it does at the Garden.
Yeah, Zannis got the extra. You got an extra drink tonight, huh? Look at you.
I don't drink anymore.
It was a great game. It was. I mean, I get it. It was fun. It's exciting to watch.
That was a really fun game. There's no doubt about that.
It was a fun game. I was saying, would you rather slog through another Philly win or watch this? I'd much rather watch this.
Yeah, you'd much rather watch
This
this. In
was
the second
10
and the
times
third
as
quarter,
entertaining. Yeah, absolutely.
Utah scored, 41 in the third, and you matched them. You win the second with some awesome hustle plays. All the little things. That's a great point, Jimmy. Those are the little things the Celtics are going to have to do as a team to stay in games like this, like chase down the turnovers that they committed. They got a few back in those situations, chasing offensive rebounds the way they did. Rob getting his hand on a lot of balls in there. Just other things, too. Like
Rob played?
Yeah, Rob was out there in certain periods keeping balls alive, but
15
that was
freaking minutes.
Yeah,
that was the story. That was the story of the second half.
This was like last year at this time. He was getting 15 minutes.
15 minutes. We're back. Brad's back coaching the team.
No, that's not what this is.
Rob's going to help with that 3-point, defend that 3-point arc.
Yes, that's what Rob does.
No, 27
you
points.
You think he could have done it, John?
27 points in the last 4 minutes. That was insane.
Rob defends threes.
He's done a better job with it this year, and he's not fouling out there. But, man, you expect Horford to be able to do that, and I think he could have potentially done it, but he was doing so many things throughout the course of the game. I think he was just burnt out at that spot. All the switches they threw at him, the offensive load that he had to carry.
So why can't Ime see that?
It's a good question. I think it was a big lack of an adjustment late.
Because that's
when
a
they started
coaching
going at him,
decision, right?
right?
I mean, that's one
swap
thing
those
that
two.
falls on the coach, right?
Yeah, we haven't seen Ame make many adjustments in game in the spot, seeing things
Well, he
like
did.
that
He
either.
started Grant instead of Rob in the second half. That's an adjustment.
No, but to just see
man.
something quickly not going well, get away from it.
I
Because
don't
you
know.
saw
He's
the
much.
Horford
He's
thing build up.
much quicker to timeouts than Brad ever was. Much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
He's
just
a-
thinking
That's
it's
a fact.
strategic.
He was screaming at the TV, "Time out!
Yeah.
Time out!"
Yeah, and then plus you had Grant like a step behind. You could tell because of the 5 fouls he racked up.
Grant
Look,
was kind of a mess. Yeah.
I just think in that fourth quarter, though, a lot of those 3-pointers that the Jazz sunk, they were contested. You know, it was just unreal. But it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have gone
Great
down
ball
to that.
movement.
But
Grant
Donovan
was
Mitchell,
a little off. Yeah. Grant hit
But
a
yeah,
couple
that was-
above the break threes though, which he doesn't normally do. He's a corner man, so
Yeah, and he was.
but that's all he did.
He was in
Yeah.
rotation against Gobert, and you heard him. Oh, he's 7'4". Like there wasn't much he could do in those spots, and that's where he racked up most of the fouls. Thought he was physical on those plays, did what he needed to do, but they called him. And Grant probably has the biggest microscope on him in the league in terms of fouling. I mean, he's not going to get away with anything in those spots. So, like, he did everything you could have feasibly done in this game, I felt like. I don't think there's anything they could have done better, save for Schroeder, who I heard you guys talking about. Value in
but
possession.
Bobby, that
Schroeder
first
down this-
quarter, You
Schroeder
can't forget
down
the
this-
first quarter.
Schroeder down the stretch was rough.
Yeah.
Do you have
Shot
Schroeder's
selection
stat?
again.
Do we have Schroeder's stat line or no?
I have it.
Put it up there.
No.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
All right, I'll get it
We're
up there.
talking about him.
I guess we are.
26 on 10 of 21, so the
Oh, you still want to talk about Rob? Is that what this is? You still want?
No, well, we're talking the adjustment. The adjustments late. That's one I might have considered. I know that's a hindsight one.
Yeah, but I think that's one that a lot of people will probably. I mean, that's something that I think a lot of people noticed. At least
the
I
Rob
did.
thing.
Yeah, the Rob not
Yes.
playing late in the game, and I think Al was noticeably a little behind there.
And then
And-
Schroeder was rough.
Well, it
there.
worked offensively, right? That three
Schroeder was-
guards and Tatum at the 4 and Horford at the 5. That's what they were looking for offensively, and they did
They
everything.
went small. They had Jay Richardson out there. They had the one big with Horford. He just was having a tough time, and Schroeder was getting cooked in that 2-man game. He just couldn't stay with Mitchell or Conley, and they got a bunch of easy buckets there. So
and
he
you
was
knew
really
Mitchell
bad.
was going to get going. He
And,
had that 7 burst in the
Yeah.
third, I think it was, and then 10 in the fourth
And then
down the stretch.
Schroeder had a couple of, really bad decisions late. Where one was
He hit a shot and got fouled.
He did, but that's it's the Schroeder experience. He hits a 3 when you needed it, and then Tatum hit another 2 to make it a 2-point game when they were down 7. And that they went down 7, they got it back down to 2. But then he drives after he get cooked on one end. He drives and right into friggin' Gobert. There's no way he's getting that shot off with Gobert.
It's like the one he took at the end of the Philly game.
Even though Gobert stinks.
There's no way he was getting that shot over Gobert there. And then late in the game, down 6, he drives for a 2 when they needed 2 threes. So I don't know what he was doing with that. Just offensively, like I said, the full Dennis Schroeder experience there with those guys. Here it is, Jimmy.
But that's what.
Thank you. And you know what? 10 of 21 from the field, 26 points, only 2 turnovers, gave you 39 minutes.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, though. When you got to extend Schroeder like this because of the situation, because there's no Jaylen Brown, because you're trying to keep up with this Utah offense, this is the Schroeder you get. This is what you get in these situations on the road, the good with the bad. But again, you want to talk about how this game could have been different? You have to go back to the first quarter. I mean, that's the only way you could really see the Celtics prevent losing this one.
I am going to hop out on some more pressers.
Oh yeah, Bobby Presser.
Oh, Bobby, big question, presser boy.
Go get him.
Make sure you're unmuted.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
So yeah, I think we can all agree Schroeder had a couple of tough possessions, but I'm still not going to look at 26 points on 10 of 21 from the field and say that he was a liability out there on the court tonight. Like there's still a lot of things that he does for them that keeps them in the game or gets them into the game. He giveth and taketh. So yeah, that's the whole experience. I know we said it a couple of times, but there's going to be plenty of people who are going to focus on the things John mentioned, which were a couple stupid, bonehead decisions on offense and possessions on the other end where they kind of got torched or they got caught up in the the screens and whatnot. And listen, at the end of the day, Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley were the two better guards tonight. No questions asked by far. Smart was his plus minus was in the wrong direction too. The last time I looked at it during the game, I don't know if I can't imagine it changed for the better by the end. So, it was team effort from the backcourt tonight.
It's the best team they've played all year right now in terms of having kind of everybody loaded for bear. I mean, in Brooklyn as well. You got outclassed by Brooklyn, and you went punch for punch with another great team. Again, it's easy to look at 137 and be like, oh my God, that was awful. I'm still calling this an overall for this team on the road. I hate moral, me. I hate moral victories more than anybody. It's hard to get mad at this game. This is a really good team that shot an unsustainable clip from 3-point land.
But could they have
tonight.
defended the three better? I mean, can you get mad at
sure,
that?
but that's fine. Even well-defended threes, you're not dropping them at this rate. If these were all wide open threes, it's still a super high percentage to me.
Yeah.
50, if nobody was on the court, if Josue and I were trying to defend the perimeter, this would be an impressive number.
But that's why I go back to the first quarter, John, because I felt like a lot of those were like open looks, whereas the second or the fourth quarter rather, those are contested shots. Shit,
a bunch of them were
off of 1 foot and makes that one. That last one, that was the dagger right there, man.
Yeah,
right to their hearts.
Yeah, I mean the first one of the game. I mean it was ridiculous.
Jeez. You knew, really? Oh, it's gonna be one of those nights. Okay.
Yeah,
but I was surprised. Honestly, I was surprised the Celtics were able to keep up. I didn't think they would. I honestly didn't.
I didn't either. I mean, after that first quarter, and then
exactly.
They played a dynamite second quarter, one of their best all-around quarters. Defensively, they were great. They really got the Jazz out of rhythm. And then that 41-41 third quarter was just crazy entertaining.
That was fun, though.
Inject that into my veins. I'll take that all day. That was a ton of fun.
You'll take 8 straight points from Tatum, attacking the rim.
Dude, that was awesome.
Moments.
Yeah,
that was fun.
I love that. We've been asking for him to show that attitude.
I loved it.
Just in general, but not towards the referee, but in general. Like, get pumped up, like that attitude, I think, is helping his case with the referees. It's kind of warming up the refs. And look at him. He got to the free throw line a ton.
He made some nice moves to the hoop too, so he was definitely more aggressive. And when he, realizing again that the shot is still not falling. What did he end up for? What did he end up with from three? I think he was like 1 for 8 at one point. I don't know what he ended up. I'll have to look. But point being, he's finding other ways to score. Ended up with I think 37 tonight. He went to the line a bunch. He had some nice drives. He had some good passes in the fourth there too. He found who did he find cutting baseline? Was that Rob?
Yes.
That was a great look. And then I think he got Smart a play or two before then. So he was whipping the ball around. Unselfish Tatum, as he would say in the post game.
People love saying that.
People do love saying
that. That could be his new moniker.
You get one assist from Tatum. Everyone's like, oh, he's so selfish.
Oh, this guy doesn't pass? Oh, really? This guy doesn't pass? I think I just saw him pass.
That's fine.
Boston media. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
It is. It's the same thing like when
these guys don't like each other? It's like when
Jaylen and Jason look at each other and like, oh, you're telling me these guys don't like each other?
Tatum just gives them the old everyone's like, see? They love each other.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he called him by his first name.
They shook hands twice throughout the entire season, guys.
What do you got, Bobby? Anything good?
Nothing much. I was trying to catch up with Donovan Mitchell there, but I didn't grab him. Still waiting on the Celtics.
Jeez,
surprisingly slow ahead of a back-to-back.
You couldn't catch him? You couldn't catch him?
He was saying, just everybody's in the exact place they need to be on the Jazz. The system's pretty much running itself. And John, off the air there, I was going to ask him about just how they take no mid-rangers. 0 in this game. They never do it ever. I know you kind of think the mid-ranger's back, not for them. And in a game like this, they pretty much built out the math on how it was going to go that way.
Again, you play.
Look what needed to happen, though.
Just to understand my mid-range philosophy, I understand the math. It is percentage-wise a dumber shot to take.
No, you don't get it. Low percentage, 2-point shot.
But
don't you understand?
you have to look at what you have on your team and recognize, yeah, we can shoot a bunch of threes, but we're not good at it. A good shot is a good shot. And if you have players who in rhythm are comfortable taking those shots and are able to get to those spots and get good open looks like Richardson does, like Tatum sometimes does, and like Jaylen Brown does consistently, or Schroeder does, yes, that's their bread and butter. You want them taking
Yeah, I
them.
agree.
What you don't want is long contested twos. They're two totally different things. You don't want Jason Tatum dribbling for 12 seconds and shooting a step back. That's not a high percentage shot. But the other stuff, you get to your spot and you shoot those mid-rangers, I'm fine. But if you're a team that can shoot the ball like Utah, you don't do that. You spread it and you friggin' do that, or you run pick and roll, or you go to the basket, and that's it. So, I mean, that's the team you want to build. You want to build an offense like that where you've got shooters all over the floor and you've got space. Celtics aren't that. So you got to do what you got to do what you can do. Celtics have been trying to be that for a couple of years. They just can't shoot.
I was going to say that they've been trying to.
They want to be.
They want to be that, but what
we
they
do have Al on the mic. I'll be right back.
What they didn't do this week, this night though.
Try to get him, okay?
Compared to the last couple of games,
try to catch up with one.
See if state-run media will let you ask a question.
At the end of the day, they got right into their offense. They didn't, drain the shot clock. They know that they don't have those kind of weapons, and so do their opponents. So I love their approach offensively, but it was just slowing them down, slowing Utah down from behind the arc. Man, they just couldn't do it. And at the end of the day, you look at that. The situation that they were in heading into the fourth or fifth minute mark of that fourth quarter, and Utah going off the way they did, lights out.
It's fun to watch, man, and that's you envy that stuff. You look at it, and Udoka wants like that old school Spurs style, just pass, work that open shot, and again, and you see a team like the Jazz, and they're just whipping it all over the place, and it's awesome to watch, and you're like, that's what we want to do. That's the basketball we want to play. But, they're not. They don't. Yeah. And I thought they moved the ball fairly well today, the Celtics. I thought actually seeing Utah do it kind of rubbed off a little bit. They just can't shoot that. They just can't shoot like
they just don't have the same weapons. That's the thing.
Yeah. Tonight was a
they don't have those.
I wanted Grant
potential assist night for the Celtics tonight, right?
I wanted Grant to be a Joe Ingles for the Celtics.
The Celtics still shot 52%. By the way, again, where the Celtics shot from two, much better than they shot from from three tonight. That kept them in the game. They were attacking.
Well, they got more field goal
the mid range, and they were attacking.
They had more field goal attempts. They didn't turn the ball over as much. So I mean, they maximized other ways to stay in this game, but the math went out, John. So one thing you'll after the show, go check out the math. The difference.
3 is more than 2. I've been told.
3 is more than 2. 40% of 3 is better than 50% of 2.
Hey, don't tell Josh Richardson.
I think.
Yeah.
You let him take whatever shot he wants.
It's 12-10. You're gonna lose that one every time. 120 to 100, Jimmy. You're gonna get smoked.
That's it. That's all it is. Buddy. It's math. Some people get it, some people don't. They don't teach you much math in journalism school, so
no,
they really don't.
They don't teach you much of anything, to be completely honest. But
no,
that's another story. Unless you're in John's class. Unless you're in John's class at Emerson, which you semester. What do you got for class next semester?
That shot's fired for you, John. Jeez.
Next, actually, next semester is I'm teaching. It's a writing class, so I've got some young aspiring writers in there, which I like that actually. It's because it's kind of a lost art.
And writing is super important. Not to get off on a tangent here, but you have to be a good writer to do so many things that you're not actually like scripts and just. Writing translates to speaking. It's one thing after another. With
being
writing.
taken seriously.
If you can't write a letter, or like you're in trouble.
Write a letter to your kid's principal.
Right.
Jimmy sounds like you're talking to a class right now. What is this, guys? What are we doing? How do we turn? Get off the highway and up
John,
here?
how many openings you got in your class?
I'm close to full.
This is an audition right now.
Maybe a few of our viewers might just decide they want to take the class. Who knows?
Students will, as part of the class, contribute on CLNS Media and Celtics blog. Yeah. No, the students will contribute. Some of the stuff, part of the course has you actually writing for actual publications.
Oh, that's cool.
On
In other
deadline.
words, they're gonna post
That's
our
cool.
episodes, Jimmy.
That's what they build to. That's what they build to.
I
That's what they
see.
build.
They're gonna
So
prop
yeah,
us
no,
up.
it's a good class. It's a fun class.
Well,
So yeah,
you know,
that's
they probably walk
that's,
all over their professor, but other than that, I'm sure it's
they
a fun
do.
class.
I'm a pushover. I'm a pushover. So again, I can't tell based off
Do
the
you get
chat
mad,
if
John?
people think
Do you ever have to like check somebody? Did that
I
still
don't-
happen? That's so high school, right? I don't know.
you know,
Yeah, I don't think people ever get yelled at in college, Josue. I don't know where
Yeah,
you
because
went,
like
but,
you're paying for it, right? So it's like you can't really yell at them, right?
well, like who's getting yelled at? And like, what are you doing in class? And when you're by the time you're in college, you should
Well,
just be.
Jimmy, you know the freshman class. You
sitting
know,
there.
there's always those people that get weaned out. They don't make it, afterward.
They just don't show up. All
Yeah.
the bad students just don't go, and
Like
there's
those first
nobody to
few
yell
weeks are
at.
interesting. Those first few
you're
weeks.
what's college? It's kind of like it basically is you get into it what you put out, right? At this point,
Totally.
the
Right.
checks have been cashed. The kids
Right.
show
So
up or
why
they
even
don't.
waste your breath in yelling at the kids?
The kids show up or they don't.
Right.
I
It's
mean,
like if you're not there to. I mean, no one's
Right.
making you go to college. Like you should just go and.
Right.
You shouldn't be getting yelled
you're
at.
not gonna,
if
like,
you
change
want to
the kid-
learn,
Yeah.
you've paid the
Right.
money.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
learn.
You're not going to change
Yeah.
that in one semester. Like if the kid wants to learn, he just wants to learn. If not, he's not going to learn.
Right.
But you just shouldn't be getting like yelled at. Just don't go to class, and you won't get yelled at,
Right. Don't go to class.
and you
until
won't pass
avoid it.
either way. Yeah.
I
so-
never got yelled at in college because I just didn't go to class.
Right.
Jimmy's like, right.
It's very simple. It's like when
It
you.
is. It's like the NBA. Like I don't need this. Like I don't
No.
friggin' need this. I don't need to be
Nah,
yelled
man, you
at.
got to show up. That's
Defense?
what- Just show up.
I don't play defense.
Yeah. I already
Um,
made it to the NBA. I already made it to college.
Yeah. Did Bobby try to boop his way back in here or no? No, not yet.
He's,
so-
he's
I
still
think he's
trying to
going
get
to the
get a
Utah
question in, I think.
My question is this again: Is this a good loss or a bad loss?
Every loss is a bad loss, John. Come on. You sound like a loser.
We call it a good loss because of the start. Again, there's no reason why the Celtics should have fallen that far behind in the first quarter. Fresh legs for both teams. Like, I just think at the end of the day, the effort is like, it comes down to the effort. Now they snapped out of it. Credit to them, they snapped out of it. The Utah woke them up, and they were able to bounce back before halftime and keep it close throughout pretty much. But it still goes back to that first quarter though. You just couldn't. What was it? 14-point lead. As quickly as they went down, and they had to fight back. They had to play uphill.
Yeah.
Bobby,
Oh,
what'd you
yeah.
get out
Cosign.
of the Zooms?
The crowd
Cosign.
split 50-50. Good loss, bad loss.
Break it
Yeah,
down, Bobby.
Horford was more
Or an F
positive than Ime was, I thought.
A failed loss.
Kind of showed the shock that I think everybody did. Said he'd never been part of a game where a team hit that many threes and tough threes at that. I think he felt that they contested them pretty good. Showed versatility in that lineup late. And what he did, he just kind of threw your hands up. But I don't want to do that. I mean, that's not why we're here. How do you win a game like this? You want to see them scrap one out. I think if they lost the Philadelphia game, we would have been saying the same thing. Oh, they played great. I mean, we probably would have been focusing more on that Schroeder possession that we talked about.
Bobby, you got off
in
to a
that
better
game.
start. That's how you could change the outcome.
Yeah, I guess, right? So they start Schroeder in
Decent
this one.
loss.
I don't really know where else you go. Double big didn't help you all that much in this one. And you didn't end up playing
I'm
it
with
much
Macho
anyway.
Man.
Good loss tonight, boys. Good loss.
Utah
Decent
knows
loss.
me, Macho Man. I'm with you.
Imagine Al saying that in the locker room, decent loss, guys. Decent loss.
Hey, boys, that was a good hard fought loss out there.
No, I think the worst part
It's a
about this
blowout
loss
without Al,
is
by the way. This thing's not even close without Al. But sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
I
Bob.
mean he was incredible.
I'd say
I
the
mean,
loss
he just
was
keeps doing more and more and
strong
more.
to
The
quite
threes are
strong.
starting to fall. I think that's a big take. Just two positives, then I'll go to the negative. Al hitting those threes is really going to start to change this offense. I think that
Because
opens
it's
a
going to
huge
happen
door.
forever. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean he was shooting so bad, and he was one of the guys.
It's good
you
to see
relied
him
on
knock him
most.
down. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of your better shooters coming in, period. So the fact that he's getting right probably nudges you close to where you want to be offensively. They're hovering around bottom 5 in offense right now, which just isn't going to cut it. And then Richardson, like I'm so happy to be wrong about him. I mean, he just gives you offense from all over the floor. Not a great
happy-
3-point
He's
shooter,
happy
but
too. Yeah.
an average one, I'd say. And, he's giving you those catch and shoot looks. A few that he could have had in this one probably would have helped them, but I'm thrilled with how he's playing. There's something that they could have done to win this one, I feel like. I mean, it was there for them. They had leads late. Defense, I don't think there's much you could have done differently, but scoring on that Schroeder possession somehow if they could have done it, continuing to move the ball like Utah did. Utah never stopped moving the ball.
At the end of the day, it's what mattered to you. This is where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. What mattered down the stretch, defense or offense? Because you have Schroeder in there and he killed you defensively, right? But he gets a couple big buckets. So if you wanted a more defensive lineup, could you have gone with a backcourt that had Smart and Richardson in there? I don't know what you would have played there. You took Rob off the floor. I don't know if that helped or hurt you. So
Jaylen Brown probably helps, right?
Obviously, Jaylen's out there. And also if Romeo's out there, because Romeo was playing well.
Yeah. I missed that segment.
No, but Romeo was playing well. And again, defensively and athletically, he's a guy who can help you in these situations. And I'd rather have him on Mitchell on the perimeter than friggin' than Schroeder late in the game. So all of that stuff hurt. I don't know what Ime would have done differently there. I think he went with, his best five or what he thought it was at that point in the game. And just, Al had some struggles. Schroeder had some struggles and they just never stopped. Where are you going? They never stopped missing.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, whoa.
Look, Bobby's a little flashy
it's midnight.
Situation.
It's chaotic over here. Getting used to the West swing we're on here. Back tomorrow.
This is the early one for us. Okay, they did us a favor.
Is tomorrow 10:30?
Don't say that.
I think it is.
Shut up. Is it really?
You guys might not see me for a week. I'm not doing those 10 p.m.
I know. Bobby and I do them all.
I might do Friday in Phoenix. That's one that's one I can do for sure.
Oh, I was going to break the streak, guys. You heard it here first.
It's a 10 o'clock.
Someone's going to break the streak.
Do 10:30 still exist? 10:30 games? I remember those way back in the day. Like
this other knucklehead's going to be out in LA, so he's going to be with us for those.
Batash, Bahador?
Yeah, I guess 10:30
like Batash. Batash going to be with us?
That's probably a baseball thing. That's something.
One lucky fan gets to hang with Josue in West Coast, and it's this guy.
And Nick.
You're welcome.
Nick's going too?
Yeah.
How did he swing that?
He's just doing it.
I guess he can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
Fantastic loss.
Fantastic loss, guy. Wait, Josue, which games are you going to now? LA?
Back to back. Lakers,
Clippers.
Oh, hell yeah. Are you going to Phoenix?
I'm not. No.
Oh, dude, Phoenix is where it's at. One of my favorite states.
We're still thinking about it.
You went to Phoenix, right? I remember that a few years ago, right? For what was it? Wedding or something?
The way they're playing,
Phoenix is kind of a snore. Phoenix, the city, is kind of a snore, but the area around it, like Scottsdale.
And the games have been electric. Yeah. Remember the finals with the guy and the money?
I've done two Phoenix Super Bowls.
I've done one.
You got the gorilla mascot.
Yeah, we were there for the Seattle one, right?
That was awesome. That was an unreal week.
That was such a great week. We had that awesome setup.
That was one of my favorite weeks of my life.
Wasn't that a great week of sports?
Great one is that?
With Deflategate and everything going on.
Well,
too.
it was one of the best professional weeks we had because we were at NBC. It was on the heels of Deflategate.
Was that the Seattle one?
It was just buzzing.
Seattle one. We went out there and Boston got buried with like back-to-back 8-foot snowstorms.
We missed all that snow. People still talk about those snowstorms. Like, sorry, guys.
2015, right? I was a junior in high school.
That parade. The parade was fun.
But also, we NBC, the network, had the Super Bowl, so we had this ridiculous
set was unbelievable.
It
was like a football field.
Full crew, like it was literally like we were we had a massive crew.
I think I've seen the pictures of that.
We had 20 of our own people out there, but we had this massive crew there, and we had a football field, and we were doing shot drills.
Yeah, I wasn't there as much. I wasn't on that awesome set as much as you were, obviously, but I did check it out when I could.
That was so friggin' cool. And then the best game of all the games they played, just pound for pound, the best Super Bowl I've ever seen.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that, because I agree, and everyone obviously is hung up on the comeback against the Falcons. But think about how awful that game was for an entire half.
This was a better game.
Every single
this was from start to finish.
Two phenomenal teams playing at the height of their powers, punch for punch, back and forth with the greatest, most dramatic finish you could have in a game.
Did you guys know what happened?
Yeah,
like you knew right when it happened.
That was amazing.
Oh, we were
live. You're not quite sure.
I was sitting next to Kurt, and he literally punched me, because he's like, "What just happened?" I mean, he knew what happened, but it was
Oh
just a
my god,
reaction.
that's like one that like makes you stand up. I don't know how you keep sitting down when that happens.
I couldn't believe that.
I had to write the game story. I barfed all over the thing. I didn't know which way I was going on it. I mean, imagine trying to write a game story. Because I was writing it like the Pats were going to win, then I was writing it like Seattle was going to win. Then all of a sudden the pick happened, and I'm like, Control Alt Delete, just shut the computer down. It was so tough. Art Martone saved it for sure. Art Martone definitely he took it, and I'm sure he changed every word in it. And
he's like, I just write this.
Put my name on it. Nice guy that he is.
That was so.
But yeah, that was an unbelievable game. That whole week, though. I mean, I was on cloud 9 the whole week.
Brady won MVP, right?
Yeah, of course.
That was
great. Yeah. No, Butler.
No, Butler didn't.
No, it was Brady.
He gave him the truck.
Yeah, it was Brady.
Brady gave him the truck after.
Okay, that's what it was. He gave him the truck after.
But I remember it could have been Edelman was awesome in that game. I remember.
Edelman's catch
was amazing,
unbelievable.
There was like 5 potential MVPs in that game. I remember it was like
Edelman got a concussion and stayed in, which was important.
Yeah, he took one for the team there. That was nice.
Which was important.
That was an unbelievable catch that he had in that one.
No one talks about that. It's so true. Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Didn't
was that the one with
James
the catch?
White have a ton of catches on like the final drive?
Yeah,
I don't know.
And you had like a near Tyree Manningham catching that one too, right?
Yeah.
That set them up down there.
Yeah, down to the
5-yard
line.
That's exactly. You're right. I forgot about that play because the pick takes that. Everyone thinks about the pick, but the catch right
over
before that.
Yeah. I know, and you hadn't won one since 04 at that point, so you lose another one on a play like that, it would have been like,
it was Jermaine Curse, and it was ridiculous.
It like rolled on his stomach. And grabbed it.
That was crazy. But anyway, Phoenix is cool. We actually might send those guys to. We might send those guys to that game as well. But we do have.
They might still be on the win streak. What's the score tonight?
I don't know. Good question.
I don't know, Bobby. We're right here with you.
Oh, they're down 15. That win streak's gonna end late in that game.
Who are they playing?
The Warriors down 18
right
now.
Oh, that's a game they fly. Yeah, I forgot about that. ESPN's playing that game, right?
Down 18.
Yeah.
So it is late in our game, so we'll wrap it up. A couple things I think worth talking about. You did have you had an overall good Tatum game. He's still cold as hell from 3.
He will join us at some point here in the pressing, but
Tatum on the show?
No.
Get him on the show, Bobby.
The press conference. I mean, he might as well just join the show. Better questions here.
Yeah.
But
they don't want good questions though. That's the problem. Nobody wants questions.
They don't want Bobby Manning's smoke right now.
They do not. Nobody does.
Good game for Tatum though. We didn't talk about him much.
I'm doing it right now, buddy.
We did talk about him a little.
Talk about him.
Here, talk about
tighter dribble. I thought he made
threes,
some awesome
man.
passes.
2 of 11 from 3. Let's do the rest of the math here. 10 of 14 everywhere else.
Yeah, and you wish he went downhill in those late game spots, right? I think it's tough to do against Gobert, but in that spot, right after I think it was Schroeder's 3-point play, they were still within a possession there. He missed that 3, the leaner, and I think it went back for a 3 the other way that made it 6. You wish he kept attacking in that spot.
They're good looks, though. It's not a lot of forces. He just can't get them to drop right now. There wasn't a lot today where I was like, I hate that shot. All of them were Tatum caliber shots. They're just not falling.
Yeah.
Well, there were a couple of jumpers I feel like I don't know. I don't want to say his approach was different, but it was just much smoother. You know how he's always sort of been like, you had a word for it, John. I forget what it was exactly, but it was like, not like glitchy, but he's sort of.
I said hitchy, but that's okay.
He likes to kind of dribble this guy down, create some space, but when in a couple instances where he doesn't think about it, just catch and shoot, steps right into it. I think that's sort of the kind of shots he wants to start putting up more on the reg.
I know, but there was a lot of open shots. I mean, but still. I mean, he had.
Does he need the step back?
He had a ton of stuff. He doesn't.
Well, that's what I mean, Bobby. I feel like he has this thing in his head sometimes where like he has to put the ball down at least once before.
You need a step back. You need the threat of the step back to be able to get by people.
Yeah.
or else they're going to play off you. So it's good to have that in your repertoire as well. You know, you want people to respect it, particularly if that's the thing they fear most. You know, like what it's like defending Harden. He's got you on a string, but you're so afraid he's gonna do that little step back that you've always got to be cognizant of it, and you get caught, you know, cheating a little bit, and he goes right by you. That's how you get by people. You know, they got to worry about that.
The hesitation was getting him. The hesitation was getting him to the free throw line. That's
exactly.
That's been a part of his game I like to his offense.
So it's fine. It's just got to fall. Like, I like the balance tonight because he was shooting shots that I think were well within his repertoire. He was getting separation because I think he was getting to the
free
basket.
Throw line a ton.
Yeah.
I think that was the end of the third, right, where he went 3 times in a row.
I liked what he did offensively. It just didn't fall again. The 3 just didn't fall.
Yeah, and the passing was awesome.
It hasn't fallen.
I see 5 assists. I'm thinking of one play in particular where he was really caught in the middle and he found Grant, and Grant kind of just tossed it out to Richardson, who missed one. There's a potential assist, but that was just a great play, great pass. I thought maybe his best pass all season, and the passing was on point here. You talk about balance. You know, you could have imagined him having 37 and 2 assists, and you would have been like, all right, still a good game, kept them in it. Be able to balance that and create for some others here. That was a good thing. And, you know, when you're playing with Richardson, Smart, Schroeder, it's so hard. I mean, this is the spacing deficit that they have here that they really can't work around.
Dude, he was
that's
good,
your best spacing lineup right there, and it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
But
Tatum wasn't just getting to the rim; he was getting like open looks at the rim. He was very.
There was separation, and that's why I thought the tighter dribble.
Great separation, spin moves. He was leaving people in the dust. He was getting by people. He was getting downhill very quickly, and all of that stuff was really on point. That, like I said, I have no complaints about his game. It's just the shots not falling. The thing that we have to talk about a little bit is his buddy. Jaylen, who we're definitely worried about now.
Officially worried? Panic
mean,
meter. Where's the panic? Do you have the panic?
I'm not counting on
the
him playing
panic meter
tomorrow.
thing?
Yeah, Jimmy loves that shit.
We used to have that. I
We need that. We
I know
do.
we have
I'm gonna
it
get
somewhere.
that for tomorrow. You're not gonna be here though. We're not gonna see you for 2 weeks now.
We don't.
You won't see. You won't see me tomorrow. But John, you used to have a list of or a handful of graphics that you could toss up.
This is my favorite.
You'll have to go back into your treasure
Return
chest and
from
look for it.
injury management cracks me up.
I've never heard anything like that.
It looked terrible the other night. That's why.
No, I love this euphemism. You know, this
it doesn't even make sense.
Return from injury management.
In other words, you looked like shit last game. So.
But that's what they've been putting on the injury report, and they're the first people in history have used this phrase.
It doesn't make sense. Return from injury management.
Does that mean you returned too early?
What it means is
that's why he's out, because
instead
he's
of saying
from
he's
injury
hurt,
management.
they're saying they're managing the return from injury.
Yeah.
But he's hurt.
I asked Ime today if they brought him back too early, and he said no. They did everything they needed to do. He passed all the tests, blah, 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 blah.
But he'll be out for the next 3 weeks.
Hard to argue that.
Yeah.
And he said it's not
a. Back right on time.
He said it's not a setback. It's not a re-aggravation. Like it's just words, right? Like he's out again.
Right. None of this. These are all semantics. Yes, it is a setback.
Again.
It's very simple. If he was
I almost
healthy,
put setback
he would be
in the
playing.
headline. I was like, come on, really? But
it's 10,000% a setback.
Yeah.
If he doesn't play tomorrow, I don't know how they can argue that.
Let's put it this way. Let's put it in simpler terms. They brought him back, and the hope would be that he would just play basketball when he returned. They didn't bring him back with the idea that he's going to be gimping around the court and then miss some games. They brought him back and when he was rested to play basketball and wanted to ramp him up with a minutes restriction. The fact that he's grabbing at his hamstring every second and sitting out games is a setback. That's backwards. Forwards would be you ramp up the minutes and he plays. Less playing is backwards. It's a setback. It's not that difficult. Like, I don't know why we're talking about this.
He's back to where he was before. He's
backwards. It's a setback.
Yeah, you literally set him back from where he was. It is a setback.
It's back. He was here and now he's here.
Now he's back again. Yeah, he's set back further away.
I want to pull this up too.
Yeah,
like what So
Whoa, it's not a setback.
I wrote about this.
I wouldn't call it that.
I wrote about this for the site today because again, like it's
Or
such a
slick
weird
back.
situation,
Yeah.
and like just tracking the
You
whole
call that a
progression of
pushback?
this. Like he was
Go ahead, Bobby, sorry.
pushing. He was pushing to get back early, as we know, like as early as Cleveland series.
Yeah.
Held him out for about 3 more games there, and he came out after that first game back and said, I felt tightness. I didn't like how I felt out there, I think is exactly how he said it. And, he comes back out for the Brooklyn game 2 games later and felt better about things. But I was watching him through his warm-ups, and it's just that carefulness of his movement, the lack of burst. And, you may said he did see burst from him. I'm sure there were times where you saw some burst from Brown. And he had a good game against Houston, but it deteriorated as the minutes went up. I mean, he did not look good in Philly at all playing 34. Held his ground defensively in the post, but he was getting blown by Harris, Curry, all these guys when he had to move laterally. You saw him grabbing at it. I mean, I asked Richardson today too, like, how do you look to you? Said he's grabbing at it, stretching it out, all the things we saw. So I can't fathom why they're playing it off like nothing was wrong there and that there were no signs whatsoever that things weren't going well with the return, because we saw it every single game. I'm sure there were some ups and downs. I'm sure Brown didn't want to come out and he didn't sound the alarm at all there. But if you just see him stretching, grabbing, not looking good, then you kind of make a move there. I don't know.
And then on top of it, the thing that was worse for me was they said part of
We're a
Ime's-
month into this injury now.
Yeah, and I mean you're a third of the way into the season basically. This is you're trending towards losing half the year if he continues to be up.
This is 9 games now.
Yeah, it's bad. Meaning like he started the season a little rocky to begin with because he was still coming off of stuff and the
But
COVID.
he was playing well though.
Yeah, but I mean,
No,
everything.
you're right though. I mean, you gotta. If he can't, he makes his money by being like the He's athletic. He uses his athleticism to get up and down the court. To throw down nasty dunks. He's physical. If he
didn't
can't
look
do
like
those
himself.
things, exactly. If he doesn't have, healthy hamstrings or whatever it is, lower body that doesn't get that spring or that jump or that, what was the word you used, Bobby, a few minutes ago? Burst. Thank you. He doesn't have that.
That
So,
spark.
that burst. I wanted to say surge, but I knew it wasn't surge, so I asked. I had to phone a friend.
His overall sparkiness has taken a hit this year.
So this is what Brown said last week when they asked him about it. He said, this is a little bit of a nagging injury. I've had hamstring injuries a few times now. This one seems to keep lingering a bit, but I'm confident in the coming days I'll get back to 100%.
Then do some
get
squats.
back to winning.
Do some squats, kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Squats.
Oh, man.
Taking the right measures
Nobody
to get
wants
back
to do
being
squats,
myself
but
out there.
everybody has to do squats.
You got to stop skipping leg day, Jaylen.
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now. That's how you get hamstring injuries. Work it out. Okay?
I just don't.
Bobby doesn't skip leg day.
And again, I always use some cautiousness in these spots because we don't know.
It's funny how
the
Bobby
injury,
just
but-
plows ahead trying to have like an intelligent
Yeah, I
conversation.
know.
No, but I'm just so baffled by this. Like, I've really never been baffled by an injury situation more than this one.
It is strange, right?
Because we know, like, listen, we don't know, but we kind of know. In a hamstring. Hamstring, you don't mess around with it. And he was out there looking like he wasn't healthy.
That's what I
don't
mean.
know.
Is he's missed 9 games, but
Why not just keep him out?
2 or 3 were basically lost games as well. So we're looking at over half, which is a total just gone right now at this point. And we're guessing he's going to miss at least 1 more here. And if he keeps riding this roller coaster for who knows how long, again, we're going to be 30 games into
can't
the
ride the
year,
roller
and you'll
coaster.
only have had Jaylen Brown healthy for like 8 or 9 of those games. And that's just not. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, especially because the longer we get into the season, playoff positioning, all that stuff, All-Star weekend, right after that, that's when you really have to start picking up the slack here, And the Celtics have just been middling, they've been that 500 team, and they need that extra from someone like Jaylen Brown. And although I don't think Philadelphia game I didn't expect him to be to look that bad just from eye test standpoint. I don't think the Celtics did either. But they're not going to sit there and tell Bobby, when you ask him that, Ime's not going to be like, yeah, looking back on it, he's just not going to do that. But I think we all know the answer to that question. That it was a mistake. It was a mistake. They shouldn't have done it, and they got too hyped up, and they wanted to rev him up a bit.
Did
I
he
think they
push
knew
them
that he
into
was,
it?
realistically, they knew you weren't going to see him playing that that back to back on the road,
Right? Because
they
they're
thought that they would ramp him up with that Philly game.
they're probably going off his feedback, right? Like, how you feel with this? How do you feel with that? And he's pushing and pushing and pushing. He was trying to come back 3 games
Well,
earlier.
he's got to.
But I don't get it.
Be honest.
You can watch it and see the second the guy with the hamstring injury straightens up and grabs the back of his leg, you're like, okay, that's it for you tonight. Like,
unless he's a star, right?
That's it. No, I mean,
Even if he is the star,
we all watch sports, right? You see it all the time. A football
sports,
player
dude.
sprinting
It
down
was
the
bad
field
on Wednesday.
It's always.
Football player sprints down the field, grabs at the back of his leg. That's it. He's done. That's it. That's the end of the game.
Yep. He's grabbing behind it, or running down the first baseline, right? And you come up.
Oh yeah, right
away.
You immediately leave the game. You see in 2 weeks. Yeah,
that's it. Couple weeks. See you later. See how it feels.
And they did give him a couple weeks. It just didn't heal.
But he's not right. Yeah.
And it's amazing. I was looking back at his history with this. March 2020, missed 4 games with it. Still amazing to me. When he had this happen to begin that Philly series, I think it was in Game 7 against Milwaukee, you were like, uh-oh. Like, they won this one, but, man, he is going to miss
Oh, my
this whole
God.
series.
Was that surprising, right?
And he comes back in Game 2, and not only is he back, but he was the best player in the series.
So that's a good point, Bobby. Like, he may have, like, Jaylen Brown may have, like, the most unique set of hamstrings in the world where, like, his can get hurt, but he can play through it when everybody else is like, I got to sit out for 3 weeks. Because he did do that time, and we were like, hamstring.
I don't know
that means
how he did that.
We're like, oh, hamstring. That means you're done. And he's out there playing through a hamstring. And I don't know how
and
he
maybe
does
that's
that.
why he's re-injuring it.
I don't know. It's weird.
Maybe, right? Did that 18
I'm
series
a bit
cost
of a
him in the
doctor,
future?
so.
I mean, he's had everything's related, right? He's had knee, he's had ankle, he's had hip, he's had wrist. I don't think the wrist is as related, but all those things are kind of in the same general area there, and it always seems like something is hurting him in the lower body there. So I don't know if it's a strength situation or what it is, management situation on the team's part. But Brown, like, I've felt it kind of creeping up these last couple of years here, especially last year. I mean, I don't want to call him injury prone, but he's trending in that direction.
Squats, kid.
I'm not ready to call him injury prone.
I'm not either.
He's not like Gordon Hayward status, but you don't want to get that label attached.
He's somewhere between.
Close.
Yeah. Is he?
Depending how the season ends, I think that'll be the new label for him.
Yeah, if you're playing 60 games every year at 82, whatever the percentage
I'm not
is.
saying
we were worried about it last year,
realm of
remember?
possibilities.
We started talking about it last year. Like,
then he goes down for the year.
This could be a thing, you know? But that was a weird one. Like, injuring a wrist.
They shut him down. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, that's what's going to happen, John. It's going to be something like this at the end. And oh, well, just run it back. You know, that was a weird one, you know, and then.
I know. I keep saying that about Rob.
You can't lose
I'm just saying generally. I feel like that's going to be
and Romeo.
Like, no, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they haven't had that fair shot yet because Jaylen hasn't been
Romeo.
How long's Romeo out? What's a sprained ankle?
Like I said, I was joking while you were out. When it happened, I tweeted, "Oh, Romeo rolls his ankle. See you in February." And a few of my, my meager following got on me like, "Dude,
you're haters."
Yeah, they're like, "You got to be negative, blah blah blah." He's right back in there, and then what do you know?
What a play! He's trying to be crafty there. The Euro step, he steps right into it. It's like
poor
his
guy
leg just exploded.
Poor guy,
just like, you can't do this.
Euro steps.
I don't want to laugh because it's terrible. I mean, he strings together some good play. He has a great first quarter, I thought. Good energy, cutting, transition
It was awesome.
Plays. Yeah,
he really was.
I was thinking during that quarter, too, like, if he does this all season, like, you're not going to look back and go, oh, what a year by Romeo, but you'll be like, all right, Romeo gave you something this year, I guess is how you would say it. And if he's out again for an extended period, it's going to be the same story as the first few years. And then you probably start to think about, all right, what's his future here? But we'll see where it goes. Ankle sprains, a week or two here, depending on how severe.
Well, I think we have no idea at this point, but.
Yep, let Neesmith cook. All right, we're past an hour. We'll just
hold
mention
on
everybody.
Before we leave. Yeah, we got to do Trailblazers real quick.
Yeah, so tomorrow, shopping spree in Portland. What do you want them to come away with? McCollum, Lillard, what do you want to see?
right?
Yeah, weird
What-
situation there. GM's out.
Robert Covington.
So the
Danny
GM's
Ainge.
out.
Do they
I wonder if
announce
that means
Danny
they
tomorrow?
can't even trade.
Wouldn't that be something?
They
And
announced
that's
Danny.
that's a story if it does happen, right? Like we are still in the aftermath of that Ainge mysterious step down. Is it retirement? Was he forced out? Did
Yeah,
he
but I
miss
just feel like this is
basketball?
like
If he becomes a full-time GM, that sounds some alarms, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. The fact that he's being considered a candidate, if it's real, then he got fired by the Celtics. This whole idea of, I mean, this narrative that he told them, "Oh, I'm cooked. I want to step down," and blah blah
Doc
blah.
said he's in the Bahamas.
But he's been around. What the thing is, though, John, he has been around the team. We've seen him with Brad. We've seen him even at games, I think, right? So
yeah,
it's like, is that really something that if you got canned, like, would you hang around? Like, hey, just like, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have been fired, but I haven't, by the way. But if I had, I don't think I'd go hang around my employer's
think you got
office.
I don't
like,
think-
"Oh,
I
just
don't-
in the area."
I don't think I've ever not been fired. No, but with no, I mean, there was something fishy there. With like, I always believed it was mutual. Like it was
Yeah.
like, guy, Danny, what do you think? Like, we respect the hell out of you, but maybe we hang it up.
Right.
And he's like, okay, like we don't want to fire you, but maybe you should leave. And he's like, okay.
I'll head to the golf
it's like
course.
it's like that line, like we love you and everything, but you should see if you can get another job somewhere else.
I don't
Yeah.
know, but I mean, we have no idea if Danny Ainge. And maybe there was a report that floated around earlier this year, but we have no idea if Danny Ainge is even interested in.
There's
doing
no
this type of
indication.
He
a
might
job
not be.
anymore.
It might be total BS.
That's
Yeah, I mean,
that's
he's
the way
getting up
if I had
there,
to
like,
predict
he's
it,
got a
that's what I
family
think is
and-
going on. Yeah,
I think Mannix.
if it happens, is Portland twisting his arm trying to convince him?
Or it just it makes sense.
It makes sense.
He's
I think is yeah.
right. There's a
He played
reason he
there.
played there, Oregon, and all of that stuff.
You know what though? Is Portland the team that you even want to take on over right now? I mean, they're not in a
You're
good
inching
spot.
toward a rebuild. You're right about that, Jimmy.
That is not a job.
That's Danny's specialty. He loves rebuilds.
Right, imagine
Well, maybe
Danny's-
he gets one of those president gigs, but hires a GM to do a lot of the grunt work. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you
that's
can
what
get
people were
that,
thinking with Utah, and Utah didn't come together because
where you're like the big grand poobah, but you're not like scout as you're not on the road
You're not,
scouting
yeah.
and doing all of the heavy
Yeah,
duty
he can't
stuff.
do that
Right.
anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
So
those
who
days are
knows?
over. That's why he reached the point that he reached. He was done with it.
Right. So you
Interesting,
get him. He takes Zarin over there, hires Zarin as his GM. That's what they do.
Zarin, I don't think Zarin's gonna leave ever. It would have happened already.
He would take
But-
a GM job. I guarantee you that.
It's a GM job. If you get it, you're going.
That's true.
So anyway, Portland, 10 p.m. Bobby and I for sure. I don't know anybody else beyond that. Jimmy likes to straggle in sometimes. If you didn't, if he gets home safe, and
I'll take an on-air.
He gets to the
breathalyzer.
computer.
After I'm done packing, maybe I'll check
on-air
it.
breathalyzer, and he can go.
Yeah, the only way my iPad will turn on is if I blow into the breathalyzer and pass. So it's a setting I had to put on it after the LA.
Yeah.
Real
infamous
quick
LA
though,
game.
if
John did that.
if it comes
It's an
to
app.
it, we'll continue this conversation tomorrow. But if it comes to it, Lillard becomes available. You interested?
No,
Not really.
Less than I was.
3 years ago, yeah.
All right, we'll continue that tomorrow.
All right. Good night, guys. We want to say thanks for watching.
Like
It's
Kemba
late.
2.0
We
potentially.
do
Yeah.
We do not rest, and we will be here through all the West Coast games. I promise you that. For me, a really rough stretch here, but I don't feel bad for me. I will. I will
won't.
power through.
We won't feel
But
bad
yeah.
for you. Going to be a lot of people listening to this tomorrow, which is going to be
On the
Saturday.
podcast.
So exactly, podcast form. A lot of people in bed. So, good morning to those people. If you guys are early listeners, hope you guys have a great weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, everyone watching now or watching now,
we got a lot of
say the
stuff.
same.
We got this. We got Patriots on Monday. We got 2 LA games
Oh, that's
Tuesday.
right.
Yeah.
Wednesday. So
Football.
there's a
Bills.
ton of stuff coming up.
Monday night, Zannis.
No days off.
Do you think what's your Pat's prediction? I need to get it now because I'm not going to be on tomorrow night.
No days
Bills.
off.
Bills.
No.
Bills
Yeah,
are
the
they going to
Pats.
cover though? If we were betting,
It's only 2.5.
Is it only 2.5? Wow.
Yeah.
I am.
The weather's going to be kind of tough. I heard windy, cold.
It depends. If you
No.
get
Elementy.
2019 Josh Allen, you win. If
I'm-
you get 2020, you lose.
I'm guaranteeing Patriots. I don't like the Bills.
Duggar being out hurts, and I honestly,
he's their
you
best.
know,
One of their he's
Bobby,
he's their lead leader in tackles.
Do the Charles Barkley guarantee.
I am guaranteeing a Patriots
No, that's
victory
not
on
how he
Monday.
says it.
$100,000.
It's the Bobby way.
guarantee.
I'll take that
No,
I'll take that bet.
I can't even do
$100,000.
it.
2017. We'll see.
Me and Bobby have $100K on the line.
I don't like the Bills' run game. I don't like
We're
Allen.
We're
I
kidding.
don't
We're
have
not
have-
gambling, guys. We're not even talking about gambling.
They're
What'd you say?
freaking out in Buffalo. They're like, God, they're like, damn it, we were good for a year, and then these guys are back.
Yeah.
You should see the articles being written there. They're
Oh,
like,
of course.
Buffalo again.
they're like,
Can you
damn
blame
it, these
them?
guys. Yeah,
It's
they're
like it's been like 18 years of this.
You're
Stop
starting
it.
to see like
They had a
black
quick
and
window.
white.
we had 1 year.
They had a small window and they didn't capitalize.
Small
gonna be an
window.
awesome
We
game.
opened the door
Monday
a
night-
crack.
Monday
It hadn't
night
been that
hasn't been
excited
good.
since Matt Castle took over when Brady got injured that year.
What'd you say, Bobby?
Monday night hasn't been good for a while. That's a really good Monday night matchup.
I feel like there's a lot of people who think it's probably not a good Monday night matchup. People who hate the Patriots and don't care
No,
about
just
the
in
Bills.
terms
but
of
then
the
you
teams
love
and
watching them
implications
lose.
and stuff.
Yeah, now they're
Yeah, if
into
they
it.
lose, that's fine.
When they're relevant, then you want them to lose.
I
Well,
don't
last
care how
season,
people
this
feel
year,
about it.
the haters are a little nervous this year. They're like, oh,
All right, guys. Tatum will come to the podium at some point.
All right, Bobby, you'll
The
get
wait
him.
continues.
Yo,
You go get him.
We're feeling good about this, Bobby. Go
Good
for
night,
it.
all. We got a lot more stuff ahead throughout
Good
the
night,
West
guys.
Coast, so we'll
Yep.
see you guys there. Take care.